All right, well, hello everyone and welcome back. My first kind of random beer brewing video turned out to be fairly popular, so I thought I'd give it another go. I popped my second batch in the fermenter 2 weeks and 3 days ago, so it is time to move on to bottling. And my first batch was in fact beer. It wasn't perfect or anything, but it was beer. I think I got the literal basics down. So here's what I've got for round two. I've got a nice, beautiful stout all set to go in the fermenter. And the first thing I did was I decided to slightly overfill it this time. So the fill line is here. And I went just a little bit more because, as you can see, the spigot isn't literally as far down as it possibly can be. You don't really want to use the dregs in these things. So last time I ran out of enough liquid. I was like, tipping the fermenter, trying to get that fourth bottle filled, and I barely did it. So this time, what I want to do is have enough liquid to work with so I can fill all 4 bottles up as much as I want. So I've got 4 of these to fill. So I'm going to quickly sterilize the bottles and then take care of bottling. And I'm going to be nice and scientific about it. And my goal for round 2, aside from correctly making a stout, I want to see if I can figure out exactly what you're supposed to do for max carbonation. So I'll show you my plan. Let me fill these bottles up real quick. All right, so the next step is sugar, and the standard is 2.5 teaspoons. So it's 1, 2, and a half. All right, and now it's time for the literal bottling. Hopefully I don't dribble too much here. Okay. I'll come back for this one as soon as the foam dies down a bit. In the meantime, I will take care of the other bottles in turn. All right, I'm moving along with these bottles here. I wanted on the record, though, this 4th bottle I gave a unique sticker to. I want to see how what I can do to make the carbonation a little bit more potent. I'm not a huge fan of flat beer, so the other 3 have the exact same amount of liquid in them, 2.5 teaspoons. Which is the recommended amount for a bottle of this size. This one I went a little heavier. I went for 3 teaspoons. So if any of the bottles explode, thankfully these aren't glass, it's going to be this one. But I put the label on there so I kept it straight. So now that the foam has died down a bit, I'll keep filling up the other bottles. The one with my face on here, this is going to be my control one. This is the bottle of beer I believe will be closest to what the recipe actually tells me to do in terms of sugar and in terms of exactly how much liquid versus air is in the bottle. These other 2 are going to be a little different, and they don't need stickers because I'm going to slightly change the amount of volume of the liquid. So I don't need stickers, I'll just be able to see their respective volumes. I'll get to that in just a second. So as this video portion is probably getting pretty boring, let me cut ahead. Okay, and here we have the end products of the bottling process, that is to say. So this is my control. This is me following the recipe as closely as possible. Seems like an appropriate level of liquid. Crunch the bottle for the air compression and all that. And then these 2 are of slightly less liquid, but the same amount of sugar. And then my sugar bomb. And this has, hopefully, the same amount of liquid as my control bottle. Depends on how perfectly I squeeze them, for the air compression. So we will see. When I open these, I will film them, and I will see exactly how fizzy and bubbly and lovingly carbonated they turn out to be, and we'll see if that has any effect. So that is the plan for now, and I am very happy with my decision to slightly overfill the fermenter tank, because that's how much I used. And even overfilling it the way I did, I still had to, tip it a little bit to get the last few dregs out for the final bits of the bottle. So unless I come onto new information that was in fact a bad idea, slightly overfilling the fermenter is definitely worthwhile if you're not going to use every single drop in there, which I think is more or less good practice. All right, well, that's about it. So, I'm an amateur YouTuber and an amateur beer brewer. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned in a couple of weeks when I pop them open, and we'll check out the results. God bless. Thanks.